It's Two on the Aisle with me, Charles Gross, and Jeff Goodman. Tonight we review A Tale of Two Cities, A Man for All Seasons, and the Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS 22nd Annual Flea Market and Grand Auction. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Two on the Aisle. Good evening, I'm Charles Gross, and again, welcome to Two on the Aisle.
And I'm Jeff Goodman. And again, always, welcome to Two on the Aisle.
I just want to clarify something that I said during the opening
You made a mistake already?
Well, not quite. We will not be reviewing the auction, but we will be reporting on it.
Oh.
Okay. And with that said, shall we get to it?
Let's get on to the highly anticipated Tale of Two Cities.
Yes, and is it the best of times or the worst of times for this Dickens classic?
It's probably one of the best of times since it made it to Broadway.
Okay, fair enough. But will it thrive on Broadway?
It has a possibility.
Okay. I'll tell you, you go into this and you cannot, once the show starts, you cannot help thinking that this is a Les Mis wannabe. I mean, and not just because the producers met at Les Mis and that half the cast was in Les Mis and that the set looks like a watered-down version of Les Mis and that even the conductor's last production was Les Mis.
No, but that's just because Les Mis was a big play that ran for a long time.
Yes, it was.
I didn't think the set looked like a watered-down version. I think the set was a very utilitarian set, and it was cleverly designed.
Yes, it was.
And as was the Les Mis set, and the Les Mis set turned like this, and this set turns in and around.
Around. But it involves a man unjustly imprisoned in France, a revolution, and this is an even bigger revolution because this is the French Revolution, with King Louis. So it's it could be kind of a prequel.
And what was Les Mis about? Which revolution was that about?
That was also a French Revolution, but that was a smaller one. They have a lot of revolutions in France.
That was Le Petit Revolution.
Exactly.
I don't even know where to begin.
Well, let's begin at the beginning in that,
But the odd thing is the phrase, it was the best of times, the worst of times, it's not in the show.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Where?
It's in the bar scene where you first meet everyone's favorite lawyer. You meet James.
Do they sing that?
I think he recites it. I'm not sure if he sings it.
I don't remember that. Okay.
James, what's it, Barber?
James Barber.
Barber.
Who is the original Beast from Beauty and the Beast?
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
So there's the connection to Disney.
Wasn't he in Les Mis also?
Everyone was in Les Mis.
Okay.
Everyone with a big booming voice who wanted to be could be a Jean Valjean.
Anyway, he plays Cindy Carlton, who is a soused lawyer. Who is
soused?
Soused. In other words, he drinks a lot.
There we go.
Yes.
Some people don't know what soused means.
I think most people do.
Well, it sounds like you have a very big lisp.
Well, maybe I've been drinking too much too.
I think
or maybe around you, not enough.
There we go.
Okay.
Okay, my soused friend.
Yes.
Tell me about the show.
Tell you about the show. Tell you what, I'm going to do better than that. I'm going to show you some of the show.
Well, why don't we
Let's take a look at Tale of Two Cities.
Why should we all work an honest job when it's easier to cheat and rob?
Let some law-abiding simples lob take the high road.
There's just no honest way. There's just no honest way.
There's no way you can thrive and keep honesty alive. Try to scale the moral peak and never backslide.
Those with all the power in their hands get the law to bow to their demands,
and the law-abiding man just lands on his backside.
It's up to me to choose, but either way I lose. If she should love him, I must let her go. It seemed like yesterday I stood there in his place when someone meant the world to me. It's my world, and someone gave the world to me. I might have been a better man If dreams came true, you might have set me free. But God is kind, for you he had a better plan, and saved you from the pain of loving me. I can't recall a night so clear. The heavens seem an inch away, and not unfriendly after all. After all, if life was ever quite this sweet, I can't recall.
Okay, now this is a really good play. Break it down, you might have some nitpicks, but put it together, it is really better than the sum of its parts.
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it immensely. Basically, this is a play, starts off with a young man, well, starts off with an older man who's been unjustly imprisoned in France.
Correct.
Who comes back, his daughter is now grown.
Who gets broken out of prison.
Right. And returned to England.
Yes.
To his family. Now, but only to find that his daughter is in love with the nephew of the man who imprisoned him. Now.
Okay,
yes,
but you have to explain that this is...
that the nephew has renounced his family, renounced his fortune, left France, gone to England.
And he's a good guy.
And he is a very good guy.
Well, he falls in love with her first, as does this other lawyer.
Right.
And there's
James Barber.
Yeah.
Right. Keep going.
Oh.
You're on a roll.
Okay, so they're both in love with her, and they fight for her affections.
Well, not
fight,
really.
but they compete for her.
They compete, but the lawyer never had a chance.
Right.
Cindy Carl never, and he comes on the scene where when the uncle tries to frame the nephew by long distance, and that's where we.
Well,
see.
the uncle in France.
Yes.
Is not a nice man.
Yes.
And he's power hungry, and he runs over a child. He's just terrible. And so what he does is he tries to blame everything on his nephew in France. No. He's not really trying to ruin his nephew's life in France. He's
in England.
I mean,
the
England.
nephew is in England.
He's trying to just make his life better.
No, he is trying to ruin the nephew's life because he's not blaming him. He sends a guy, and this is Nick Weinman, as the aptly named John Barsad, and to go out and get him. And basically, because the lawyer Sidney Carlton knows his way around a bar, he manages to foil the plot.
Right.
But he uses the experience of both bars, the one that he passed and the one that he doesn't pass.
The one that he gets served upon.
Exactly.
But it's such a complex story. That's the beauty of the show, though. Mm-hmm. It's such a complex story. The book is like that thick.
Right. And they managed to capture it
the entire
nicely.
book is in here. Yes. Everything. I mean, I don't know who. This is like Cliff Notes for A Tale of Two Cities with music. It's like amazing.
Yes.
Down to I'm sitting there down to at the very end. Right. There's like a love interest in prison, which is at the end of the book. It's in there. I thought for sure they would cut that out.
You've read the book.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, not willingly. Okay. It was in school.
And this is of course has the wonderful line, "'Tis a far, far better thing I do."
Yes. Which
is when Barbar's lawyer comes and sacrifices himself for the nephew. Nicely played by Aaron Lazar. Really, most of the cast here has a nice ensemble like blending to it.
Oh, it's certainly an ensemble cast with amazing talents.
Yes, but with the standout being James Barber as Carlton, and really just stands out so beautifully, performs so excellently, and that it's an incredible performance, and it's a really good production. I took my 13-year-old to it. Mm-hmm. She had an incredible time. I had a wonderful time.
It's the first act is very long though. The first act has something like 30 numbers and it has 6 scenes, and oh my goodness, it's so involved.
Right, and you know what? Maybe you can't find "I Dreamed a Dream" moment like you have in Les Mis.
There are no memorable songs,
and it's certainly not Oliver, which was also by Dickens. But the score blends in with the book, and the book is incredibly good. It's hard to write a book for a musical, especially one like this. But
the only thing I have
Jill,
about the book,
Santoriello pulls it off. She did the book, the music, and the score, which is very unusual.
Yeah, Well, I have news for Jill.
Mm-hmm.
It does say. Oh, okay, I didn't. At one time, I didn't think they had this thing based on a novel by Charles Dickens. But it's Jill her name is about 6 times the size of Charles Dickens, which I think is kind of weird. It's we think a little bit much of ourselves, Jill. And let's give the man who came up with the whole plot thing a little credit. Not this little based on a novel by, but I don't know. But it's absolutely humongous cast. I mean, what is it, about 40 people in the cast? It's a full orchestra. It has to be a fortune to bring this thing to Broadway and a fortune to run every week. But I do think it's a really good thing. I think they should get a lot of the school kids, if they give it a chance, they will enjoy it.
As I said, I took my 13-year-old daughter who hadn't read the book, but she sat through it and she loved every minute of it. And you know what? So did I. I did like this.
I didn't
show.
love every minute. I thought there were moments that dragged.
Not for me. You know, well, I'll admit that it doesn't have too many standout.
Has no
parts.
standout. All the songs are blended right into one another.
Yes.
They're all very, they're very poignant.
Oh, they have one great bar song that stands out. You
how'd it go?
saw that in the da 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 la 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 da. There's just no honest way, something like that.
I don't know. All right.
But I again, you're right.
I'm
there's
just telling
talent,
you, I didn't
but
walk
no
out of the theater
standouts,
humming any tunes.
But it works. Now,
yeah.
This is at the Al Hirschfeld Theater, and during intermission, Al Hirschfeld was called the Line King because of his line drawings, and they have a bunch of his artwork from shows that played at this theater.
They always do at that theater.
Right, they always do. And so I was up there standing on this very long line to the bathroom, but I had to wait online, but I got to see all that beautiful line artwork. So you know what it was for me? It was the best of lines and the worst of lines.
Okay, now.